President Trump keeping his campaign promise to cut taxes, signing the tax reform bill right before his Christmas deadline. Now, tax experts are offering advice on how to lower your taxes in the final days of 2017. Joining us now is Gene Marks, a CPA, small business advocate, business columnist for the Washington Post, and owner of the Marks Group. Gene, it's great to see you again.
Thanks for having me on, Cheryl. Good to see you.
Last time we spoke, we were going through what we thought the tax bill was going to be. Now we've got it. And the biggest question is, I know many Americans are asking on the individual side, if there's some last-minute moves and deductions in particular they should be taking this year, this week, such as charitable deductions, to try and kind of take advantage of the last time they're going to be able to really use those deductions.
Yeah, 100%. First of all, let's remember we still have 6 days left in the year, so you still have plenty of time to make your moves. But by all means, Cheryl, you want to speak to your accountant before the end of the year. Hopefully, you can get him or her on the phone and ask for some advice. I recommend that to all people that work with accountants. But when you look at deductions, the goal here is you want to try and move as many expenses as you legally can into 2017, where tax rates are still higher, and you want to defer any income where you legally can into next year when tax rates are going to be a little bit lower. So specifically, you mentioned charitable deductions. Absolutely. If you can bump up a charity, make a few more deductions, you can take full advantage of that this year, and it will impact your taxes more now than it would next year. Another big one, property taxes. If you've got the ability to pay your property taxes in advance now, the tax deduction is bigger in 2017. The same thing goes for any state or local taxes, your township, your county. If you can pay that stuff early this year, that will really benefit you for your tax situation going into next year.
But Gene, just to be clear, if your county allows it, because a lot of folks are looking at that exact thing, can I pay my property taxes now, pay it for 2018 and get the deduction? Not all counties are allowing it. In fact, I know in New York they do not. So you have to really look at your local laws, correct?
Such a great point. You're absolutely right. And by the way, because it's Christmas week, I mean, you might have a little bit more of a challenge getting somebody on the line. But yeah, if your county does allow it and you can make a payment this week, by all means, try and do it. It's a great point.
It's true. It's true. But and again, I've been telling friends and family, the 29th on the noon. If it's not done by 29th on noon, forget it. You're not going to get that transaction completed. Let's talk about small businesses, of course, which is your wheelhouse. Sure. A lot of small businesses, say you've got that client that owes you $5,000 for work you've done. It's, instead of pestering them now, you're saying a good thing is to wait until next year because you'd rather have that extra income come in 2018, correct?
You would. Now, you really do have to be careful, right? I mean, if you're a cash basis filer as a small business, which a lot of small businesses are, then you're absolutely right, Cheryl, right? Try and get that payment next year, and that way you'll pay the taxes on it in 2018 when the rates are going to be lower for small businesses and pass-throughs. But just be careful. If you're the kind of business that invoices you on an accrual basis, a taxpayer, that may or may not have an impact. The thing that I'm telling my small business clients is try and accelerate your expenses this year. Pay out some bonuses to your employees. I mean, big companies like Comcast and AT&T are doing that this week. If you've got office supplies, you're going to use them, next year. Go on out and buy a bunch of office supplies this year. Take the deduction for it, stick them in a supply closet, and then use them out next year. That's the best thing that you can do.
Really quick, we got to talk about the stock market. I mean, wow, what a year for stocks. If folks weren't in the stock market this year, I mean, you really missed quite a rally. But I was looking at Tony Dwyer, who's a frequent guest on Fox Business, was saying he thinks that next year that the S&P 500 is going to gain more than 15%, 15.5% to be clear. So this means that basically if stocks are going to be higher, that the economy is going to be booming, we're going to see jobs in small and large businesses, correct?
I don't know if that's correct or not. I mean, I am the last person to try and forecast where the stock market is going to go.
But with the jobs you can, though, especially with small businesses. I mean, you're in touch with these folks. Are they saying that they're going to hire, that they're going to start to expand, start to build extra plants, for instance?
The answer is definitely yes. I mean, look, listen, Cheryl, when you have extra money in your pocket from tax relief, I mean, you've got to do something with it. So if you're not going to hire, you're going to pay your people better. And even if you pay your people better, they go back out to their communities and they spend money at their small businesses. And then, of course, if you want to invest, you've got extra cash to invest in equipment. Listen, I am definitely confident in the stock market next year, but just be careful, everybody, okay? It can be a risky place, all right?
Gene, Merry Christmas. Good to have you on.
You too. And Merry Christmas to Leland as well.